I've been treating my $5 grand worth of camera gear like it's the same as range brass, putting it all in this 511 gun bag, and now my back is finally starting to pay the price. So now I'm moving everything from this 511 range bag to this handy condition one case. But there's a catch, guys. To see which one's better, I'm loading both of them up with 30 pounds worth of lead to see which one breaks me first. Before we start this test though, let's go back to the studio and see what I actually put in my 511 range bag to see if I can fit it all in my Condition 1 case, and then we'll bring it back out here to see which one is easier to carry around. Let's go. All right, so here is what we've been using for the last couple of years. This is my 511 camera bag, really just a range bag that I found at Goodwill for like 10 bucks, and it's really cool because it's 511 brand and it's actually like 120 to 200 bucks brand new, and I found it at Goodwill for $10. Here's what we got. Here's what we've been using. It weighs a fair bit. I would say when it's fully loaded, maybe between 20 and 30 pounds, something like that. I'll show you guys what we've kept in it while I've been using it this whole time. So the first thing is my camera rig fully built out. This is actually a Fuji X-T30 that I'm using because I'm filming on my X-T4 right now. Hello. But nevertheless, I usually build out my entire camera rig and can fit it in this bag fully built out, so that's pretty nice. The other highlights that I keep in this thing are my DJI drone kit. I do keep the Zhiyun Weebill 3S in this bag as well. So between all of these things, I can do handheld footage with also drone video and then also gimbal options as well. So this whole kit really gives me the kind of the ultimate status, I suppose, with this kind of rig. But the downside to this is, I mean, it's really cumbersome to carry, guys. So I mean, I have you know, a strap right here that I can, you know, hand hold like this, and then it also has a strap like this, but when this thing weighs 20 pounds, this is gonna wear down on my shoulder, and it's actually very annoying. It gets very tiring. I remember when I went to Canada carrying all this equipment, having this on my shoulder, walking through the airport, it just got really tiring. So let's unload this whole bag, all the bits and bobs, the extra lenses and things, get this up on the table, and then I can show you guys how we can pack up all this setup in the Condition 1 case. Let's do it. All right, so here is all the things, all the equipment that we're gonna try to fit inside of this Condition 1 case that we have here on the table. And I even have a couple of things off screen that we're gonna try to figure out how to fit. So let's start with number one, which is the camera. Now, normally I would be packing my Fuji X-T4, which I'm filming on right now with a 20mm anamorphic autofocus lens. So I'm filming on that right now, but I'm using my backup camera, the Fuji X-T30, as kind of the stand-in for the camera that we're gonna be using. So that's gonna fit into this compartment right here, and I think that's going to fit quite nicely. Again, I'm going to pretend that that's the 20mm Sur-Ray anamorphic and my Fuji X-T4 that we're filming on right now. So that's going to fit very nicely right here. I'm also going to bring along another lens. This is the Sur-Ray, not autofocus. This is the OG, so it's not going to be any help to us in the autofocus department, but I can pull focus, guys. I'm pretty good at that. So I'm gonna bring this. This is gonna give me another anamorphic look, gonna be a little bit tighter. Really with the crop sensor on the X-T4, it's gonna be more like a 70-ish millimeter depth of field. So that's kind of what I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna fit that in this compartment here. All right, I do want to try to pack my whole rig in here like I did with my other bag. So I'm gonna bring this right here. This is my Camvate cage, and when it's fully built out, it is really nice to use. It's a universal cage. It fits a bunch of different cameras. So if I want to put my X-T30 in this, I can. If I want to put the X-T4 on this, I can, either way. But this is gonna enable us to rig out the camera a little bit more, put my monitor on it, put an extra larger battery on it. So I'm gonna bring this, have this top handle. So I'm gonna bring this, and I think this is gonna be able to fit in this compartment here. I'm gonna bring the side handle with it as well. So I'm gonna bring the Camvate side handle. This all came as a package together. I'm gonna fit that just in the same spot. There's a lot of empty space right here. The next thing is I'm gonna bring my small rig matte box, and this thing is great because I had the Tilta one before, but what I wasn't able to do was I wasn't able to fit my lens filters on there, so my ND filters. This allows me to still get in there and be able to twist and adjust my ND filters because I'm a cheapskate and I don't buy matte boxes that have the ND filters in them because those are like $300 to $500. And so I'm not gonna do that. I'm balling on a budget here, guys. Let's see, I'm gonna fit that in this compartment here. I think that's gonna fit just nicely. We're gonna go ahead and throw in this battery, and this is the Anker Power Core Plus. It is a 20,100 milliamp hour battery, and because the X-T4 can run off of 5 volts, I can actually charge the battery in the X-T4 with this thing while the camera is running and recording. Very nice feature there. And Small Rig actually designs a clamp for that battery so that I can actually use this whole rig as a single piece. Very nice touch there by Small Rig and by Anker and by Fuji. So all three of these companies working together to put together a nice package for me. This is gonna fit right here in this compartment. Next, I wanna do the monitor, and I'm going to bring my FeelWorld monitor, and this thing can also charge off of the USB power bank that I'm bringing, the Anker power bank. So I'm gonna throw this in here, and this gives me anamorphic D-squeeze like I need when I'm shooting off the Fuji. It also gives me input LUT so I can see my exposure if it's correct in camera. Gives me, you know, zebras, all those things, focus peaking, so if I'm running the autofocus or if I'm not running the autofocus anamorphic lens, I can still have good peaking. This works out great. It runs off of micro HDMI into normal HDMI, so we have that cable already inputted, and we're gonna bring along an extra USB cable as well. That's gonna fit right in here. Along with that monitor, I'm also gonna bring along this Sony battery that plugs into the back of the FeelWorld. I shouldn't need it, but just in case I run out of battery, this thing's a huge MPF 700 battery, so it works really well to have this just in case I end up running out of power. I need some kind of backup. I'm gonna bring that. So we have the camera, we have a way to charge it, we have a way to keep it going. Let's go ahead and move on to audio, and I'm gonna bring along the DJI Mic 2 Pros. Love these things. They work so well for just content creation in general. So we're gonna go ahead and put these in here, and I think I can fit those. Along with audio, I'm gonna bring along this Rode VideoMic just in case I need some scratch audio off the camera itself. We're gonna be running and gunning. So it's always a good idea to have, you know, a system to mic people up if you need to get those, but also just to get some scratch audio. I probably run this more often than anything, but again, just in case. Okay, next I'm gonna bring my Fuji batteries with a charger, of course, so that we can have some ways to charge our Fuji batteries. And we have these nice zip compartments right up here that are really nice to put stuff in. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw these batteries up in this compartment here. We need SD cards to run our media off, so I have a JJC media reader or a media card holder right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in there as well. And then the thing about running any kind of camera rig is sometimes you need to tighten things, you need tools. I'm just gonna bring a little Husky Allen wrench multi-tool thing here, some electrical tape in case I need to cable manage something on my rig or somewhere else. And then I have this little bag of Allen wrenches and like a quarter-sized thing that came with all of my gear. So just kind of little bits and bobs to help rig things out and be a little more professional. You know, I try to do that occasionally. Next, we're gonna bring our filters for the matte box, and the one I'm bringing here is the 82mm one. So I'm gonna bring this one so that my matte box can fit on it, and then I'm gonna bring some step up or step down rings. Since I am bringing my other anamorphic lens, I might need to step it down so that I can adapt my matte box or adapt my filters or anything like that. I'm also gonna bring the Peter McKinnon ND filter. This is the 1:5 ND adjustment, so if we're gonna be outside, I do like to bring this. The last thing I'm gonna bring is my gimbal tripod, and I like to thread this on the bottom of my cage so that I can set my cage down with my entire rig in it, and this actually creates a really rock solid platform for me to put my cage down, and I trust that it won't just fall over or tip over or something like that. So we're almost out of room. And I haven't even packed my drone kit yet. So this is the DJI Mavic Mini Pro 4. If you guys want to see this drone kit, you can go ahead and check out the video I made on it right up here. But in terms of fitting it, I'm not going to be able to do that in this because I can't really take anything out. Also, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to fit my gimbal. And it doesn't look like this is going to fit anywhere either, unless I just put it on here. So this is the part where it becomes kind of project specific, guys. I think if I'm planning on bringing all my stuff like I used to be able to do, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that because there's just not quite enough room to bring my rig, my drone, and my gimbal along with the mics and the extra lenses and all the things that I would need to properly conduct a shoot with all three of those things. But really it's pretty rare, I would say, that I actually go out and use all three of those things. Maybe a wedding is probably the only situation where I might use that, and I honestly do those pretty infrequently, but that might be a super normal use case for you. So just consider that. If you're thinking about picking one of these things up, maybe think about all your gear needs. This thing's great for bringing a camera, maybe a couple of cameras, a few lenses, even a rig build out like I have, but might not be great for bringing a lot of big stuff like what this needs. But really, guys, if I wanted to, I'd probably bring this case, and then I'd also probably bring my backpack, my Peak Design backpack with kind of all the extra stuff, maybe my laptop, maybe extra chargers, things like that. So this stuff is actually really easy to fit inside of that, especially if all this stuff is not going to be in there. So it's still a 2-bag setup, but in all honesty, it kind of always was a 2-bag setup with my Peak Design bag and my 511 bag, but this might actually work a lot better. So now that we have most of everything packed up, let's go ahead and take this thing, close it up, and take it outside and do our walk around test with both bags to see which one is better, see which one feels more comfortable after a long walk. Let's go. Oh, all right, so we made it to our local park right by the Mississippi River. And what I'm doing first is using our 511 bag, testing it out. What I've done is I've loaded this bag full of weights from my home gym. I've loaded it with about 30 pounds of weight, which is about on average how much this thing weighs. And all we're doing is just walking around with 30 pounds worth of weight and seeing how it feels. The best way to test a bag is just to use it. In the interest of fairness, I'm also putting these weights in the Condition 1 case to make sure everything is nice and fair for our test. So without further delay, let's go ahead and just take a nice little stroll around the park and see how this thing feels after carrying around for about a mile or so. Let's go, guys. So we made it back to the car. The first thing I'm gonna say is carrying around that bag with 30 pounds in it really sucks. I mean, it just does. So now we have our Condition 1 case. I'm going to transfer everything from the Condition 1 case over to the 511 bag. So, 5-pound weight and this 25-pound weight. Throw these in the 511 bag, in the Condition 1 case rather. And then we're going to haul this around and see how it feels. So yeah, let's do some of that right now. Cue the cool drone videography. Okay, so obviously this is like a really stupid test, right? I mean, of course a roller bag is going to be way more easy to carry around than a sling bag that's gonna just ruin your shoulders, ruin your back over time. So I personally think that the Condition 1 case is the way to go in this case, even though we can't bring all of our gear that we used to in the 511 bag. Like, we have to leave out things like the drone, we have to leave out things like the gimbal. Boo-hoo, I can easily throw those things in a backpack, and that's still gonna be way lighter and easier to carry the 2 bags, a backpack and a roller bag, than it is to carry one bag that has everything in it and is just gonna, ruin my my shoulders and make me super tired and useless once I get to a shooting location. At the end of the day, the 511 bag was designed to carry range gear, and this was designed to carry both range or camera gear. So it is fitting the needs that I have very reasonably, and I happen to be a huge fan of this, and I think I'm gonna keep using it for a long time. But I wanna know what you guys think. What's easier, a sling bag or a backpack to carry all your stuff, or a roller bag like this Condition 1 case or a Pelican case of some kind? I wanna know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. And if you guys want to see what I bring with me in my range bag that I use to bring all my range gear, including things like my backpack AR, you can go ahead and check out that video right over here. We'll see you there.